training helped me a lot. I've been following you and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're like really like a trailblazer, which is so practical. Oh, so practical. And my job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome. But the dreamers of the day, Gary, what did you say? They are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For them they act on their dreams with eyes wide open. And they, that was in plan, they couldn't have been what I am today without people. And help me quite a lot. Have those difficult conversations in an inspired way. I am so blessed. I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me. I've been following you and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're like really like a trailblazer, which is so practical. Oh, so practical. And my job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome. But the dreamers of the day, Gary, what did you say? They are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For them they act on their dreams with eyes wide open. And they, that was in plan, they couldn't have been what I am today without people. And help me quite a lot. Having those difficult conversations in an inspired way. I am so blessed. I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me a lot. I've been following you and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're like really like a trailblazer, which is so practical. Oh, so practical. And my job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome. dreamers of the day. Gary, what did you say? They are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For they act with eyes wide open. And they, that causing planet wouldn't have been what I am today without you. And it helped me quite a lot. Have those difficult conversations in an inspired way. I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me. I love it, following you, and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical. My job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome. But the dreamers of the day, Gary, what did you say? They are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For then they act on their feet with eyes wide open. And they, that causing planet wouldn't have been what I am today without you, coach. And it helped me quite a lot having those difficult conversations in an inspired way. I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me. I love it, following you, and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical. My job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome. Dreamers of the day. Gary, what did you say? They are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For then they act on their feet with eyes wide open. And they, that causing planet wouldn't have been what I am today without you, coach. And it helped me quite a lot to have difficult conversations in an inspired way. I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me. I love it, following you, and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical. My job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome.
Yay, yay, yay. Yay, 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 yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome all of you. So excited. Today is day one. And wow, it was just so amazing to watch some of the works that we have done over the years, some of the places we have been featured, and some of the engagements we've gotten involved with, some of the service that we have offered to the world. So I am extremely excited. Today is day one. And for those of you who did not watch the introduction, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Oh, are we behind or what's happening? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me well? Yeah? I can see you. I can see some of you there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your response. Yes, you can hear me. Yes, you can see me. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I want to honor you today for showing up, and I want to respect your time. We're going to be here for an hour. Today is Menopause Mindset, the first day of our workshop, 5-day workshop, Hot Flashes Be Gone. And this is for women over 45 in their perimenopausal and menopausal period who are prepared not to suffer in this period where loads, in fact, millions of people, 90% of women are suffering needlessly with aches, ailments, bizarre behavior, sicknesses that are unnecessary. Once again, for those of you who did not watch the introduction, my name is Angela Karanja, and I am a world-renowned psychologist, a well-woman psychologist, and I'm excited to be presenting this Hot Flashes Be Gone workshop to you beautiful, beautiful professional women. Now, I want to say the first thing is that all women, every female is born beautiful, well woman. However, by the time we hit our 40s, 45, 50s, by the time we hit our perimenopause and the menopause period, 90% of us are not well at all. So what really happens? How is it that we can come from being beautiful, well women to being unwell? Here is one thing I want to say. One thing that does not change is that you as a woman, you as a professional woman, because the women I'm speaking to right now are professional women, you do not stop being beautiful. You do not stop being a woman, but something happens to the wellness. I'll explain. Whatever has happened in your life, you remain beautiful, you remain a woman, but the wellness is affected. I want you guys to open your workbook. Earlier on, I shared that image of what happened, of the 3 intertwining circles. And I think at some point I'll share the image right here so that if you haven't got it, you can have a look. I possibly think I should share it right now. But before I share it, I want to say, why is it that I'm saying that you are still beautiful? You are still a woman, even though you're not well. Because here's the thing. I want you to imagine if someone gave you a 50-pound note that had been kicked about, dropped in poo, scrunched up, and, thrown all over the place, exchanged all sorts of dirty hands, what would be the value of that £50? Drop your answer. Just drop your answer on the chat from whichever platform you're watching. Just drop the answer on there. If someone gave you the most dirty £50 note, what would be the value of that note? I can see you guys are top notch, right? And that's why I love working with you beautiful women, because you are quite tuned in. A lot of you are saying, oh yeah, it would still be a £50 note. Yes, the value of the note doesn't change, no matter how battered, beaten, bruised it is. And so it is with you. You still remain beautiful. You still remain valued. You still remain worthy. But it is possible to be all that and not living a well life. And as we unfold in this mindset of menopause or menopause mindset, you will begin to see why it is that so many women suffer unnecessarily in a season, a natural season. Yet they're suffering with so many unnatural ailments, aches, pains, bizarre behavior, some strangeness. You even wonder, who are you? Who are you? You ask yourself, who am I? Who is this woman that in the middle of a presentation breaks up in this sweat, like this hot flash hits you and you're a shell of yourself? Then who is this woman when they go to bed at night, they can't sleep properly. And when they drop to sleep and get up, it's like someone's poured a bucket of water in your bed. You wonder, who is this woman? Who am I, right? And then you wonder, who is this woman who is so clogged with aches? If it's not a headache, it's a neck ache, it's like every bit of you, every bit of your cell is in disharmony, is in dis-ease. And as you heard me say that word dis-ease, when we are diseased, in disease, that means we are not at ease. Our bodies and minds are not at ease. That is what dis-ease is. We were created. We were meant to be at ease. And that's the wellness. And that's where it goes all over the place, especially as we grow older. But why does it happen? Why does it happen for some people and not others? Now, this is the question that we're going to be answering today, Menopause Mindset Day 1 of Hot Flashes Be Gone workshop. Now, when you think about when you were born as a female, you are well. And again, as I said, you are beautiful, well woman. Now, I will share, now right this minute, I'm going to share that image, because I want us to look and see there we go. I'll just share it right now. There we go. Can you see it? Beautiful. There we go. You can see it? Great. This is the framework we use for beautiful, well woman. Now, can you see the 3 intertwining circles? There is the beautiful, There is the well in the middle, and then there is the woman on the end. And the well in the middle, you can see is nice and yellowy, sunny color. That's how all of us are born. Unfortunately, by the time we hit our menopause years or perimenopause years, I'll show you how we are like. We're like this. Can you see the middle circle? It's gone completely dark. We're not well. So what really happens? What really happens? What's the mindset that takes us from this beautiful, well woman to beautiful, not well woman? I want you to think a little bit about that. What do you think happens? What do you think happens? A recent description of what wellness is there are seven, they say there are 7 components of wellness. There is the spiritual, there is the physical, there is the social, there is intellectual, environmental, emotional, and occupational. I would like you to write those down. And the reason I would like you to write those down is because I want you to compare that with the wellness, the well person you were when you were born. Which one of these, physical, spiritual, social, intellectual, environmental, emotional, occupational, which one of those do not apply when you are little? I mean, I'm sure you can tell by yourself there's occupational, there's children don't need to be defined by what they do. Children don't need to be defined by who they associate with. Children don't need to be defined by what they do or do not do. I hope you're beginning to see where we're going and what really happens that corrupts the wellness in us. Now, for those of you who are in the VIP and you have your workbook, I want you to listen carefully for the lies that society has thrown onto us, has made us believe. And therefore, we have been conditioned, we have been distorted. And you will see where I'm going with this. Because as human beings, we are electromagnetic beings. And what does that mean? Our thoughts and feelings really affect how we operate on a cellular level, our cells. So what you think, what you feel affects all of the cells of your body. I hope you're following me on this. So as a little baby, they're not concerned what everyone thinks about them. They're not carrying the weight of the world in them, the weight of expectation on them. They're not carrying any of those, or what will people say, or what will people think. You know, as children, they don't have teeth. They poop on themselves, and they they sleep when they like. They do what they like. They're not concerned about what other people think. And therefore, they remain in this well state. Now, I'm not suggesting that as grown-ups, we poop on ourselves or we go and knock our teeth out so that you can look like babies. And that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm taking us slowly to where it went wrong. Where was our mindset distorted? Why is it by the time we hit 45, 40, our perimenopause, some people even 40, 45, 50, 60, women are struggling with crazy, nasty ailments, and then we attribute it to the hormonal changes. It seems like the hormones are the ones to blame quickly. But is it possible that remember I said we are electromagnetic beings? What we think and what we feel affects how our body cells work, our hormones, our brains, our bodies, the stuff we've been through, the thoughts we have harbored, the guilt, the shame, all those nasty emotions. In fact, I'll divulge for a minute. Right here, I have what I call, but it's Dr. Hawkins' map of consciousness, like consciousness levels. And we know that when you're operating from a level of shame, guilt, apathy, fear, anger, pride, those are very low levels of consciousness. And those do not align with the person, the real people that we truly are. Therefore, we become not at ease. So, let me state the lies. Remember when I talked about when people describe wellness, they think in terms of, things that you have, right? Where you live, what's happening around you, your social circles, your intellectual wellness, maybe sometimes for some of us where you went to school, where you work. And there's one thing, all those are external kinds of validation of wellness. Whilst when we were little, the wellness that we relied on was a wellness from within, a wellness that did not need to be defined by any external circumstances. Unfortunately, as we grow older, as we are socialized in the communities, as we are socialized in our cultures, as we are socialized in wherever we work, whoever we relate with, we begin to adopt. Our validation is external, and we lose that ability to stand and to work and to strengthen ourselves from within. So I'm going to state a couple of lies that I actually wrote down here. As a woman, as you grow, your value, or you are valued by what things you've got, you begin to learn that if I've got this, or people that have this are more valuable than others. Now, so you strive to get that, and if you can't get that, you feel like you're less. Remember we talked about the feelings? So you begin to feel less. And when you begin to feel less, because it's not in harmony with the person that you are, there is dis-ease. There is dis-ease. Because you learn to be determined or to be described by the things you have. We also learn that, oh, you have to look a certain way. These people that look a certain way, those are the ones that are more valuable than others. Now, if you look that way, you sometimes can begin to look down on others. And if you don't look that way, you begin to feel less than those that look that way. Both ways are not ease. Because the moment you look down on another person, you negate them. And in life, when you negate people, when you negate other human beings, again, you cannot be at ease because nature is meant to be in harmony. We are an ecosystem. You live, I live, and it's okay. And that's why when there is disharmony against people, you don't feel nice. Why is it that you don't feel nice when you're being hateful to another person? Because it's not in harmony with the true person that you are. There's pressure to look certain ways. We are conditioned, oh, this is the way to look, and if you don't look that way, you're not enough, you're not okay. So we forget ourselves, we forget our wellness, we even forget that we are actually beautiful. And you will see where I'm going with this. The compounding of these feelings, of these thoughts, create trauma within our bodies. And because, as Dr. Kalk says, the body remembers, the body keeps scores of trauma. That's why in later life, we end up having these, what we call psychosomatic illnesses, pains on our knees, you can understand if you fell and you had an injury on your knee and then it's hurting. Acute pain is okay, but when we have unexplained pains and they are chronic, a lot of them come from being conditioned that we are not enough. We do not fit the bill. Our wellness is being affected, has been affected. Over a long period of time, then we begin to fall unwell. And now we begin to attribute this to the season that we are in. Now, is it the season that we are in, or is it the accumulation of the negative thoughts and feelings that have been trapped in our body that are now erupting? Questions? We are also conditioned to do certain things, for example, for us who are in in professions, there is a lot of, there's a lot of, oh, this profession is better than the other. So some people feel better than others. Oops, my earring has dropped. Hold on a minute. My earring, I don't know what. My earring has, oh, it doesn't have a stopper. Oopsie. Anyway, I'll wear it. If it drops again, I'm not gonna bother again. I'm just gonna cruise one earring on, right? This is how authentic we are over here. Stuff happens and we just cruise on. And for me, I would say that, when you get to a point where things don't knock you over, you're not embarrassed about such things happening, I think it's a very nice and safe place to be. When you can be authentic self, things happen, so what? Anyway, I divert. Let me come back to the session. We are conditioned to do certain things. And then, as women, it's like the society stacks us up against each other. And we also learn to, we learn to compare and compete instead of cooperate with other people. And again, that creates a lot of disharmony within ourselves, because naturally, for us to expand, we need to work together. So when we are comparing and competing against each other, when you are knocking against another person, instead of growing, we finish ourselves. There is an American proverb that says, there's no tree so foolish as to have its branches fight against each other. But that's what the society conditions us to do, to compare ourselves. Oh, this one has bigger boobs, or this one has bigger butt, or this one has bigger, little kids don't do that. They're just magnificent in their power. Now, when I am comparing myself with another woman who is beautifully and wonderfully made, and I forget that I am also beautifully and wonderfully made, what does that leave me with? Feelings of jealousy. And what do feelings of jealousy do? They poison ourselves. We're coming back again to our bodies are electromagnetic beings, and the things that we think and what we feel affects ourselves. So when you're jealous, why do they call jealousy like the green-eyed monster? Because truly, it's like a green monster, a dirty green gremlin circulating in your body, poisoning your cells. And now, when we let that circulate for lengths and lengths of time, what then happens? We begin to get these illnesses that we have no explanation about. So as we talk about the menopause mindset, this is where we are at. There has been so much poisoning over the years about how or who a woman should be, that we forget that we are beautiful, well women, and in forgetting, we drop into being unwell and we suffer and we struggle. But not anymore. Because right today, you're going to learn a new menopause mindset. So, what's this new menopause mindset that we must adopt so that we can reclaim ourselves, thrive, and be productive in this season where millions of women are suffering and struggling? And here's one thing. In fact, today I posted something on social media. I said, the saddest thing is that menopause illnesses and ailments, they're not going to kill you, but they can make you so miserable, so miserable, so miserable that you lose your sheen. You look even, a lot of women dread looking old. They won't even say their ages. But when you have all these feelings and thoughts going through you, gremlins literally churning inside of you, I mean, you can understand why a lot of things go all over the place. Why we end up looking how we don't want to look. Because we have things eating us from inside out. And then which is the quickest thing to do to blame? To blame the menopause. Oh, it's a change of season. But if that was true, why is it that there is a 10% of women who are shining, who are thriving, who are not suffering? And not because they've gone for they've been chopped and changed and they are having Botoxes and all and chopped and put together. I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about a well person. And I want you to think for a moment, now that we are at this point, what does well look to you? What does well look to you? When I gave you this exercise, I was doing it as well. And I was getting excited as I was doing it because I was saying to myself, what does a beautiful, well woman at 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 50, 51, all those later years, how does that look like? How does that look like? And here is what I came up with. That looks like when I get up in the morning, I feel refreshed. I get up. I have had a good night's sleep. I get up. I look at myself in the mirror and I love myself. That's even before I wash my face, even before I put any makeup, even before I put my hair up, even before I put my clothes on. I'm thinking, I love this, what I see in the mirror. That is wellness. And then I can confidently walk out of that door knowing that if there is no enemy within me, if there is no enemy within me, if I am in harmony, my hormones are in harmony with me, I am feeling love, I am loving me, then no enemy out there can do me any harm. I can give compliments liberally because I feel abundant. I can smile confidently because I definitely love myself and I have no worries. And it's not those fake smiles that they're like this and then they're gone, they're plastic, and then those are not the ones I'm talking about. So I want to introduce the new menopause mindset, which I must adopt, which we as women over 45 must adopt, so that we can reclaim ourselves. Oh, now I've just received a question, and someone is saying that, oh, so why haven't you talked about how the hormones affect our mood and how we behave? Right. I'm going to address this briefly, but for those of you that are coming into the VIP section backstage, we will go more in depth with that. Here's what happens with hormones. Hormones can be your servants if you're in harmony. I'll say that again. Your hormones can be your servant if you're in harmony. But if you're not in harmony with you, they can fight you to death. Of course, they're not going to kill you, as I said. They're not going to kill you, but they will cause you so much misery. Again, remember I talked about dis-ease? When you are not at ease, that is where even the hormones go haywire, right? But our job is to compose ourselves, bring ourselves back into harmony so that we can reign. We command our hormones to work. And you might think this is a far-fetched concept. It is not. We are powerful human beings. Remember, again, I talked about we are electromagnetic beings. And what does that mean? Our thoughts and feelings. Our thoughts and feelings determine how our body works. How our bodies will work. So it's up to us to work on that harmony. And again, if you have not practiced that for the longest time, don't think it's just going to happen like this. And this is why when people come to this session, I say, this is not a magic pill or a, picks something from the hat and something happens. This is not what it is. And I'll tell you why it's not. I want to give you an illustration. Imagine a train is traveling at 150 miles south. Now, you want that train to change direction and start running at 150 miles north because you want to go north. In our case, we want to go back to our true north. But we've been going south for the longest time. So how do we do that? What is the safest way to turn that train round so that it's going back up north safely without killing everyone inside of it? If you know the answer, just drop it on the chat there. I would love to hear what you say. Go on. Let me see what you're saying. Let me see what you're saying. Right. Just so that we can get on. I can see some answers coming. Yeah. Slow down. Yeah, that's right. Now, if a train was going 150 miles south at the speed of 150, and you wanted to go 150 miles per hour north, the safest way to do that without killing everyone inside of it is to slow down, continue slowing down to the south, and then recalculate and come back to the north. And so it is with our habits. Remember, We are not where we are because we've been going the right way. The reason we have these menopause bellies, the reason we have these unwanted weights. And by the way, when I'm speaking like this, I am in your group as well. I am in this exact group. You guys know I'm 47. So I'm not speaking about things that I don't know. I told you, I've told some of you, actually, I came to the day of disgust. In fact, I think there's a Jim Rohn says, for you to change, you have to come to a day of disgust, where you're so disgusted with what's happening that you're like, it changes today. It's got to change. And for me, that day came when I looked at my picture. In one of my friend was having her daughter's birthday, and we took pictures. And then when I looked at that picture, I thought, what is this? You know, I look like, you know, a kangaroo, you know, the kangaroo pouch. I looked at it and I thought, no, this can't be true. This cannot be happening, right? And I want to stand, but it's no longer there, as you can see, right? But we have to come to a point where we say this changes today, whatever it is. I don't know what your most terrible menopause symptom is. For some people, it's the night sweats. For others, it's the bone-biting chills that make you shudder. For others, it's the angry outburst. For others, it's the mood swings. For others, it's the skin that erupts into, you know, it goes dry and erupts into all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things. I don't know which one yours is, but you have to come to a point where you say, this stops now. For me, I said I had the hot flashes, and I thought, oh, wait a minute. It didn't hit me at that time. Actually, I was perimenopause, right? But I remember in the middle of that presentation feeling so embarrassed because there was an exercise where we were supposed to lift our arms like this and then hold, you know, like hold the arms to the back like that, right? So that we could stretch and open our chest. But I couldn't do it because I knew I was sweating like, I want to say like a dog, but that's how I felt. And then I could feel it soaking and seeping into my undersleeves. And I thought, I can't lift my arms. I just can't. This is just embarrassing. But that didn't, for me, it wasn't a day of disgust. The day of disgust for me was when I saw the tummy and I thought, wait a minute, what is this? Why? Why should I be like this? Why am I carrying this extra unwanted weight? Why am I carrying it on my belly? Why? And for all of us professional women, we know that fat around the belly is not healthy. And like I said, it's this earring keeps dropping. I'm just going to remove it now. I think the stopper got lost, but anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, but for me, that was the day of disgust. That's when I thought, no, this is not me. This is not me. And that doesn't mean that I'm vain. That's not being vain. Wanting to be well, wanting to be healthy is not vain. In fact, it's self-care at its best. Another, another mindset that could actually be preventing a lot of women from actually being well is some of the things that we say about those that make an effort. Or we say they're vain, right? And when we're saying they're vain, there's a jealousy inside of us. And then what did we say? What happens with jealousy? In fact, the good book, the Bible says that it rots your bones, literally rots your bones. And we have research to show that that is what happens. A lot of these ailments are from really what we think and feel. But of course, we have to look as human beings, we have to look for something to blame. Oh, it's the hormones at this age. We're going through the changes, so it happens to everyone. But that's not true. So I want that by the end of these 5 days, I want you to know yourself as a beautiful, well woman. Of course, we have to work on the well, because remember, we talked about the train going south at 150 miles an hour. And if it has to go up north, right, what needs to happen? It needs to slow down. So there will be a bit of time that it can take for us to then recalculate and begin to go the right direction. But we must determine this is who and what we want to be. Now, while we're at this, I want you to do a small exercise. And this is going to involve something that you say and also something that you do. And we're going to do it right now. And I'm going to do it with you, because don't forget, I'm in this journey as well. Yes, I may not be suffering as so many people do, but I have been there. And like breathing, I cannot say, oh, because I breathed last minute, I'm not going to breathe now. I'm good. I've already done the breathing. I'm good. Self-care is a continuous moment by moment activity. We cannot say, well, we already did that. It's being, it's a moment by moment being. So I want you to put your hands together. Just put your hands together like this. And you can lay your chin like this, just nice, like how the young ones do this when they're taking the photos, right? You can just do this. And then I want you to say, before you say that, I actually want you to take a deep breath and then say, I am responsible for my life, for my health, and the results that I get. Let's say it together. I am responsible for my life, for my health, and the results that I get. Let's say it 2 more times. I am responsible for my life, my health, and the results that I get. The 3rd time, I am responsible for my life, for my health, and for the results that I get. How does that feel? I want you to continuously repeat that. Repeat that. Repeat that. Repeat that. So that when you are tempted to blame something or someone for your life, for your health, and your results, you will hear yourself say, oops, I am responsible for my life, for my health, and for their results that I get. Now, I want us to do another quick exercise. And this is a stress relieving exercise. And I would like to request you to do this before you drop to sleep. Every day before you drop to sleep. And then I would love to hear your results. That exercise involves putting all your fingers together, like finger to finger like this. Can you see? Can you see? So pinky to pinky, ring finger to ring finger. What is this one? Middle finger to middle finger, pointing finger to pointing finger, and thumb to thumb. And then squeeze them together. Squeeze them together. Yeah. Yeah, squeeze them together. As you squeeze them together, you can begin to feel some pressure on the palm. And now, I want you to let go and then thumb to thumb, squeeze them together for maybe 30 seconds. And then pointing finger to pointing finger, squeeze them together. Yeah, you begin to sigh, you begin to release some pressure for 30 seconds. And then middle finger to middle finger, squeeze them together. Yeah. There is some biological processes happening as we do that. And then ring finger to ring finger, just squeeze them together. And then little finger to little finger, squeeze them together. Right? And then you can just stretch yourself out like that. Right. How relaxing is that? A 2-minute exercise that actually releases stress. And as we get speaking more, you will realize, I will explain more what the processes that are actually happening, because I like to explain what's happening, because when people understand what is happening, you're more likely to be excited to do it, right? So that you're not just following blindly, so that you know, oh, wow, when I do this, it's affecting some limbic part of my brain. The emotional part of my brain is being affected, it's being impacted, there's some relaxation happening there, right? And I would love you to do that before you sleep. It helps a lot of people to have good night's sleep for a start. Now, I know we're going to be talking about, before we finish, because we're coming to the top of the hour, I want us to quickly talk about how to maintain this new mindset so that we can enjoy long-lasting results. How will you maintain this new mindset so that you can enjoy long-lasting results, because we don't want this to be a one-hit wonder. You know how relaxed you have felt when you did that short exercise? Imagine feeling like that on a continuous basis, being able to be still when the whole world is running havoc, being at peace, at ease, in harmony, cool, calm, collected, well within you at all times. That is where we want to be. True? That's where we want to be. So how can we do that? Habits. And what do habits take? Reputation. And that's why I said, do that exercise every day, just before you go and sleep, especially just before you go and sleep. But that doesn't mean you cannot do it during the day when you're feeling also stressed out, also packed up. Do it. Do it. And repetition, continuously repeat, like taking the air in and breathing out so that we can stay alive. Repetition. Another way to maintain these positive habits and this new menopause mindset, this positive menopause mindset that 10% of women who are not suffering and struggling have, and they know and they maintain, is association. Who are you hanging around with? And now this is not a session to ask you not to hang around with certain people. That's not it. But this is what I'll say. If you're hanging about people who all they do is moan about their ailments, their aches, but they will not do anything about it, those are victims. Those are victims. And when you hang around with victims, you will never become a victor. You adopt a victim mentality, a blame mentality. Associations are very important. In fact, in our community, one of the things we talk about a lot is maybe, places they have been, groups they have been, and all they did was moan about what's happening. And some people actually are comfortable moaning, because doing this work, you have spent 1 hour learning. Some person would rather, another woman would rather be somewhere moaning about their knees, about their ankles, about their hips, about their back for an hour. That has become their identity. Instead of coming to a session like this and learning, how can I change this? There are people who are not interested in growing, and we can't hang around with those. And now some of them might be even our relatives or even our friends. So what do? We just don't, yes, we go with them because you can't abandon everyone, but let's not spend so much time with them, lest we get soaked in, because it's so easy to go downhill with everyone else. I think John Maxwell says that we cannot go uphill. We cannot achieve success, which is uphill, with downhill habits. So what we're doing here, and that's why I talked about the value of association, is we are developing uphill habits, northbound habits. And if we want northbound habits, we can't be hanging around with southbound associations. And that doesn't mean we hate people. No, that's not about hateful. It's protecting your space, protecting you, and knowing this is what I want to be. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about your goal, your wellness goal. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be talking about let's have a look. Returning to this beautiful, well woman, the journey. And this journey requires you being intentional and having the right people to walk with you. And I'm excited about that. And today we're going to finish there. And as you can tell, there's so much to talk about on this menopause mindset. It would take 4 weeks for us to actually grasp the whole concept, begin to practice the particulars, the steps. But obviously, in this Hot Flashes Be Gone workshop, we've only got 1 hour a day. And we want to respect that, right? So today we have finished day 1. And here is what I would like you to do, right? We have you have your daily, each one of you, for everyone that's attending this, you all have this sheet. It's a daily self-work note. So this is what I would like you to do. If you can see, can you see it? This is how it looks like. If you haven't got it, please request a copy. Although everyone who signed up for this, and that's about over 1,000 of you, and I'm so grateful, you received an email with a note sheet. And for those of you who are in VIP, you received a workbook that contains this page. And this page is so important because this is your self-work. This is your assignment. And all it entails is you write your name and the date and day 1, the name of the day 1, which was today, was menopause mindset. And I want you to write a few notes, if you've not already written, reflective notes. What did you learn? What did you take away? What did you truly take away from this session? But I also want you to write, what question would I have loved to be answered? What question would I have loved to be answered? And then we have a section that says self-work. And I want you on there to write that you have done the fingers exercise, because that's self-work. But I know you're going to do it again tonight before you go to sleep, or any other time really. I want you to record it when you do it. Remember, we also did another exercise, the one that you held both your hands and then you leaned on it. You leaned your cheek on it. I want you to write that as well, self-work. This session is going to change the way you think about yourself as a woman. And I want you, by the time we are finishing on the 5th day, I want you to 100% believe that you can be and you are a beautiful, well woman. A beautiful, well woman. A beautiful, well woman. A woman that is productive, a woman that is happier than ever, a woman that is healthier than ever, against all odds, that you can smile. And this is a real, beautiful, authentic smile, because you haven't got no pains in your body. That's where we are going. And it can happen. Imagine getting up in the morning, like I said earlier, you have no aches. You're not dreading the day and you're not dreading going to sleep. Because a lot of women our age, they dread to go to sleep because they know they're just going to not sleep well, or they'll get up all drenched, the night sweats, right? And then when they get up in the morning, it's now they're dreading the day because of the hot flashes, or because they didn't sleep well, the headaches, they're all sorts. But what kind of a life is that? Where you're dreading to go to sleep and you're dreading to get up. That's not us. And that's why you're here, so that we are learning how to go uphill. We are learning how to go true north. And I'm excited for you because it can happen. It's about the most, you get up with a spring. Oh, come on. Let me go back to your self-work. So there was self-work, and then there is a place that says step forward. So what steps do you think you have taken forward before you came to this workshop, before you came today? What do you now know that you did not know? That is a step forward. What you know that you did not know earlier, that is a step forward. And I want you to record it. Now, that is your assignment for today. And what I'm going to do for you, if you want to watch this again, we're going to leave it on there for 5 days, for the duration of the workshop. And I will be, all of you who have registered, you will be receiving an email with the link again to rewatch. And if you didn't quite make it on live, which I would love for you to be coming on lives, if you're watching on replay, we also love you very much, because we know sometimes as women we can be very busy, but at the same time, this workshop is being watched from all over the world. So right here, we are on at about 9 o'clock London time. So I know some of the people, some of the beautiful women who have registered are from different countries. I know where you've registered from New Zealand, from Australia, and you can't come on. And now I know people from Indonesia right now, but some of you are up actually watching at 3 o'clock in the morning. But if you're watching on replay, I still want to hear your responses. I want you to feel like you're watching it live. I want you to feel my love and my commitment to you as well, right? So thank you so much, guys, for being here today. And thank you. I honor you for showing up for yourself and for investing this 1 hour to improve the quality of your life. Because when you learn one new concept, it expands a lot of neurocircuitry system in your brain are expanded. Now, what we have learned today may seem like simple, small things. But here is what we believe here. You guys, there's a door here. I've got a door right here. And this is a big door, but it swings on small hinges. So the small, simple concepts that we've learned today will swing the big doors in your life. We call this workshop Hot Flashes Be Gone, right? That might look like, oh my God, it's a big thing. How can I get these hot flashes to be gone? The concepts I'm teaching you, when I began to practice them, not only did my menopause belly go, the hot flashes, the night sweats, some of the unwanted weight, it falls away because small hinges swing big doors. So do not discount the small practices, the small, simple practices that we are learning here. And the information you're learning here, your mindset is being changed. Your mindset is being expanded. And I'm so proud of you for investing your time to be here with me. I so honor you. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Look out for your email because we will be sending a replay of this. And then I would love to hear your feedback of this. Have a brilliant rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of Hot Flashes Be Gone. And tomorrow is going to be returning to being a beautiful, well woman. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.